Okay, cool. All right. So sorry, first off, sorry I'm kind of taking over you guys' class in the middle of the semester. Obviously, I'm sure you know by now. Unfortunately, Dr. Dowd passed away last week. So it was
Oh my
kind of a
God.
shock to all of us. Um, and definitely shook us up in the department. I've known Dr. Dowd for a long time. She was my professor when I was a student here back in the early 2000s. So, sad to hear that news. So not the best way to take over class. I teach this class, but in the online accelerated program, it's a little bit different program from the normal exercise science program that you guys are in. But that being said, I've kind of looked at what you guys have, and from what I can tell, she's only uploaded up until last week. So it's going to kind of change up a little bit. The way that I teach the class is I like to just review cases, and normally sorry about that. Normally I have um, a textbook with this course. Obviously, you guys aren't going to buy a textbook midway through the semester. Not even midway. I mean, we're almost done with the semester. It's already October 20th. So I'm going to have to do some changes. And what I think I'm going to do, let me show you my course that I normally teach for 311. So this is an example of, let's say, one module. One module is 1 week. So you go in, and this is how I'm going to upload the future modules. There's usually an overview, and then this overview will tell you kind of what we're doing. Then there is objectives. Then after the objectives, there's a to-do list, and this will give you the exact to-do list of what you need to do. And then there's the reading section. Now, we're not going to go over the textbook or the textbook court cases, so you guys don't have the textbook. So I'm basically going to pull the court cases that are PDFs. And then there's a discussion, and this is just an example of another class. You guys won't have a discussion online. So my goal is that, this class is supposed to be face-to-face, but obviously it's been moved online because of COVID. So instead of having a discussion question and discussion posts, what I want to do is I'm going to try and host at least 2 Zooms to have that discussion, two Zooms per week. And what I might do is the modules that I insert, I'm going to make them, instead of them being 1 week long, I'm going to make them be 2 weeks long. So you'll have 2 weeks to complete it. So in essence, to have the discussion, there's going to be 4 Zooms. And then what you'll have to do is you'll have to read the court case. So this one is a court case that's posted. And so, for instance, here's this court case. Do entry form waivers properly inform triathlon participants of the dangers in sport? You'll have to read this court case, and then we'll just talk about the court case. And then there'll be an assignment. So here's this court case here is a PDF. There's other court cases like, for instance, a personal trainer was working with this guy doing bench press, and that's this one right here, gross negligence case. He was working with this personal trainer doing bench press, and the barbell fell on his face and crushed his face, and he had to have reconstructive surgery. So he sued the personal trainer and sued the facility. And then so we'll discuss that case. So basically, I want to just go over a bunch of cases, and then you're going to have assignments, and your assignments are, I'm going to have to go through and kind of alter some of these assignments. But this is just an example of the assignment. And you basically just have to look up and answer these questions. You know, what does the professional standard of care mean? You know, what are some inherent relationships between the health and fitness industry that you should be aware of? So special relationships, what does that mean? And then a lot of this stuff comes from the book, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of try and tailor it so that you don't have to have the book, that you could just kind of Google some of these and then learn about some of this. The whole purpose, the way that I designed the 311 course was so that you could learn about the legal aspects of the health and fitness industry, and that you would have the tools necessary to, if you became a manager of a health and fitness facility or decided to own a health and fitness facility, that you would be set up and not have any sort of surprises. So there's like specific things. For instance, if you want to own your own facility, you need to know how many signs of warnings and what sort of signage you need in your facility. So rules and regulations. What happens if you don't have rules or regulations? Well, you're not providing what's called up to the standard care of practice for the norm of that industry. And if you can't show that you're not providing up to the standard care of norm for that industry, then you can get sued if someone gets hurt. So things like that. Other things also, what's the difference in floor height that you would need a floor transition piece? So if I'm going from turf to rubber, and if you have more than a 1/4 inch height in difference between one flooring type versus the other, then you're liable if somebody trips. So you need a transition piece. Things like that are really, really important to know in the health and fitness industry. And then lastly, the last thing that I want to do is, besides having modules like this, where you'll have your to-do list and you'll know what you need to do, and each module is going to be 2 weeks long, there's going to be a final project. There's not going to be a final. There's not going to be any more tests in the class. It's just going to be these written assignments, which aren't hard. You know, there'll be anywhere between 5 to 10 questions that you have to answer. And then the final project will not be as intense as I normally make it. Normally, the final project for this class is a paper that is an entire risk management strategies guide. And basically, you have to develop a risk management strategies guide as if you were opening up your own facility. You're not going to have to do that. What I'm going to have you do is just develop something very basic. And it's going to be a small portion of this, and I'll show you that based on this. And so what you're going to basically have to do is, you know, you can create a title page. I'm not going to make it so you have to worry about a table of contents. But you're going to have some sections. And the sections that I'm going to make required, I'm going to have listed here. I'll probably make you guys come up with job descriptions for a personal trainer, facility manager, general manager. I'll probably have you guys come up with a basic contract form, and then screening forms, okay? And this is all going to be in writing. Let me show you an example of what this is. And none of this stuff is hard. It's just busy work, but you can honestly do this extremely fast in a matter of a day. This is an example of a full risk management strategies guide from a previous class. And this was actually a draft. So she wasn't done. I was giving her some advice. There was a table of contents. You guys don't have to do that. There was discussion. You guys don't have to do that. A staff training program. You don't have to do that. But job description. So here's an example of one job description. Here's another job description. So you'll have to do the job description. Here's an example of an independent contractor agreement. And so where did she get this? She just Googled contractors agreement for personal fitness trainer, and there's a bunch online, and then she just changed it to match what she wanted. So there's an example of that. Then I'm going to make you guys have to develop clearance forms, physicians clearance forms, and informed consent, pre-activity health screening forms, anything like that. Now, she took these straight from the book. You guys don't have a book. So how would you guys get this? Now, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. All this stuff has already been done. I have this for my facility. Well, I don't have a facility anymore, but when I did, I sold it. So let's say that you wanted to find pre-activity health screening forms. You literally could do like a PAR-Q. You literally could do this. NASM, PAR-Q, and then you pull up the PAR-Q for NASM. You can either copy and paste this into your own Word document and just cite that you got it from NASM and you're fine. So there's your PAR-Q all done. Or you can download it, and then if you have an updated version of Adobe, which if you do this on campus, then they have the updated version. And if you have an advanced version of Adobe, then what you can do is you can take this, hit export PDF. So this would be over to the side when you open up Adobe, if you have the advanced version. Hit export PDF, and it turns it into a Word document. And then you just kind of take away the NASM symbol. Maybe you could put your own logo if you want, whatever. And then you have that, okay? So that's just one example of a PAR-Q. You also need a medical questionnaire form, physician clearance form. There's another way that you can do all this too. And the other way is you can go on to most websites that are facilities that they'll have their forms online. For instance, when I had my company, I still have the website because I haven't canceled the website yet because we just closed for good, which, you know, is COVID. But you can go on to my facility's website, which is seasideatp.com. So you just record that. Pretty easy to remember. Go to the Contact Us section. And then down here in the Contact Us section, there's all these forms. New membership forms, new strength client forms, new physical rehabilitation patient forms. So let's say you wanted to do a rehab patient, or let's say that your facility, you want to have rehab patients. Here's 3 different forms. There's a new patient rehab consent form. There's a HIPAA compliance form, and then there's a health demographics form. So just an example, we click the health demographics form, open it. Here's the health demographics form. So this is what would go in your Word document, and it's easy. If you wanted to, if you're working and you have the advanced version of Adobe, you could just hit export PDF, turn this into a Word document, get rid of Seaside, put your own logo if you want, or put your own company name up above, and then boom, you have your form. That's simple. So the purpose of this assignment is to get you guys thinking of what it would take to be an owner of a facility, and what sort of forms you need, and what sort of risk management strategies you need. So that's going to be the final project. It's not going to be as in-depth as what my normal legal aspects of health and fitness industry class would be, but it's going to be pretty in-depth. So that's the final project, and that's going to be due probably around May 29th. That's going to be, or not May, excuse me, November 29th. So a long ways away. So you got time, but it would be good to start on that. And then every 2 weeks, I'm going to start moving modules in. You're probably going to get one moved in here at the bottom soon, probably tomorrow. And then this one won't be due this week, but it'll be due the following Sunday. And I'm going to just basically make these in the same way. It's going to be an overview, objective, your to-do list, your readings, and then the module assignment, and then maybe a link for the information of Zoom. And then I'll put the Zoom meeting scheduled ahead of time in that extra link. I'll just kind of put it right here. It'll say Zoom meetings, and then they'll have the 4 Zoom times available that will be on Zoom and we'll be discussing, and it'll be mandatory. You'll have to attend at least one of them. So it'll be one within 2 weeks that you'll have to attend to go over. Now, obviously, for this week, we're going to go over that first case, which is up in module 1 up here for this class, about the personal trainer having that guy drop the barbell on his face. So we'll go over that one. So, we're already in Tuesday, tomorrow's Wednesday. So, I'll have to figure out when I'm going to do that Zoom time. So it'll maybe I'll have one on Friday, and then I'll try and do 3 different Zoom times next week. So that's basically it. Did that make sense? Do you guys kind of understand some of that?
Yeah. Have you any idea on any kind of schedule for the Zoom, or is it just up in the air right now?
Yeah, good question. Right now I'm in the middle of advising, so I'm literally probably doing 10 Zooms a day with my advisees, and I'm hoping to finish advising this week. I'm going to try and do this. I'm going to try and do 1 Zoom more in the morning times on a Tuesday, maybe another Zoom on a Thursday in the afternoon, and then I'll try and do maybe a Zoom on a Friday, maybe morning. I probably won't do a Zoom in the afternoon on Fridays because, I'd like to be, have a life and go out. So I probably won't do that. And then, I don't know, would you guys want to Zoom on the weekend? I guess I could do that. It's all kind of, when's the best time for you guys?
During the week, unless you want a toddler coming in.
What's that?
During the week, unless you want a toddler joining in.
Oh, yeah, no. Okay, so during the week will be it. Do you guys prefer mornings better or afternoons or evenings better?
Probably like when you say morning, like 8 o'clock in the morning, or?
No, I mostly teach at 8 a.m. So probably 9 or 10.
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay.
How late in the afternoon would it be?
So I've talked to several students, and some students, they're servers or bartenders, so they work in the afternoons. So I probably wouldn't want to do it later than 5 p.m. because, if their shift starts at like 4 or 5, I would want to try and get it in maybe at like 4 p.m. And I don't see them lasting long, maybe 30 minutes. It depends on how much people participate. If like we're talking about a case and I'm going to have a list of questions to go over, but if we're talking about a case and it's just like crickets, then, that's going to be a little bit annoying. So, I don't know. I may have a list of questions and each person has to answer the questions prior to, and then that way each person will have to at least talk about some of the questions. The whole purpose of having the discussion is, to go over the court case. And some of them are pretty controversial. So I can't see us in past. I've always had students talk about it and get somewhat passionate about some of them sometimes. So, yeah, so probably 4 p.m. I'm thinking. Is that okay?
Just for me, I work at 4:15 every day, so.
Okay. So maybe if I do it at 3 p.m.
3's good.
That would work with me, yeah.
Okay, so I'll try and do one at like a 9 or 10 a.m. and then I'll try and do the other one at like around 3 p.m. so that way it's not before some server shifts or stuff like that for the afternoons. So cool. Any other question?
Not for me.
All right. Well, bear with me. Give me some time. I'll get that stuff uploaded. I can tell you this. None of your guys' grades are going to be affected negatively because of this transition. So, I'm a pretty laid back professor, if you turn in stuff a little late, no big deal. What's most important to me is your learning. So, and give me some time with grading. I see she's a few assignments back on grading, so I'm going to go through and I'm going to grade those. And I probably won't be real hard grading because I really don't know what those assignments were. So most likely, if you've turned it in on time, I'm probably going to do somewhat of a pass-fail style of grade. I'm going to go and I'm going to look at it. I'm going to see if you've done the work. Because it's not really my assignments. So if you did it and you turned it in on time, you're probably going to get a pass-fail sort of grade on it. You're going to get an A on it. So if you didn't turn it in on time, maybe I'll take a few points off, something like that. So, all right. Well, if you guys don't have any other questions, I think this will be good. I'll probably see you again on another Zoom, and we'll just go from there. Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Professor.
Okay. Cool. Like always, if you need anything, reach out and we'll talk more from then. Okay. Talk to you guys later.